In today's video, we're gonna make the 8th and final warrior for Halloween mode 4.0. And as soon as it's finished, me and the boys will film the Halloween tournament so I can edit the video and get it out by Halloween night. All of your questions will finally get answered, like how Monster Catnap's tail does in battle, or how the blob fights considering it has no weapons. And maybe the most important question of all, who will warrior number 8 be, now that my original plan of making the Flying Dutchman is stalled somewhere in the Pacific Ocean? Oh, and did I mention, the Halloween tournament will be a trick-or-treat challenge like last year. That means the winner of each battle will get either a trick or a treat. I really wanted to wrap up Halloween 4.0 by making the Flying Dutchman, but I was having such a hard time finding parts that when I eventually did find something that I thought might work, it was too late. But as I was editing the Boxy Boo video, I accidentally stumbled upon a replacement antagonist for Halloween Warrior number 8. That's Audrey 2.
That's right, boy!
A talking,
Feed me Seymour.
man-eating plant from the 1986 musical Little Shop of Horrors. As you can see, Audrey grows to enormous proportions. But for today's build, I decided to make the younger version of Audrey 2, starting with Venom Bite Ninja, whose mouth and colors are a perfect match. My plan to transform this Ninja Fury Akedo Warrior into a Venus Flytrap hybrid is simple. The lower body will be turned into a pot, and the upper body will be turned into the plant itself, which means the first step is removing the head. And I always find Ninja Fury Warrior heads to be easier to remove because they're just pressure fitted on with no glue. We also have to saw both arms off and grind the body down as much as possible, completely transforming it into a stem. Now we can shift our focus to Audrey 2's head, which we need to keep as light as possible. So we'll be using more insulation foam. And with the help of this hot wire, we'll shape a little chunk of foam into a football. I'll cut out a slightly opened mouth with a knife, then I'll finish up by adding texture to cover up the fact that the head is so badly misshapen. Guys, we're having such a hard time finding costumes this year, and it just keeps getting worse and worse.
That's kind of cool.
I bought this LED mask for the boys, thinking that they'd be perfect for the child that can't decide what to be for Halloween. You can select from dozens of different designs and even upload your own image. There's even a way to type in a scrolling message. But the eye holes are so small and far away from your eyes, you literally have no peripheral vision, making walking very dangerous. It's a cool idea, but it just doesn't work. Which means this weekend, we'll be making our 7th trip to Spirit Halloween this year. Now that we have our foam head shaped and mounted, we'll work on Audrey 2's lips, which will be the only part of the head made with clay. I'll use whatever's left over to patch the stem, then we can move on to transforming the legs into a pot. And this is where I had to make a very important decision. Audrey 2 is pictured in both a clay pot and a coffee can. The clay pot is taller and would be way easier for me to make and paint, while the can is shorter and has a bunch of text that I'd have to hand paint, which is going to be challenging and time consuming. But there's something about the challenge of turning a chunk of clay into a metal can that I can't resist. We have no time to waste, so I'll start by turning more of the legs into stem with the help of my Dremel. Then I'll shape the coffee can out of a huge chunk of clay, because the weight of the bottom half of a Shatterstrike Warrior is not nearly as important as the top half. While the clay is still soft, I'll form the lip of the coffee can by pushing down the inside of the cylinder. The coffee can isn't perfect, but I feel like I'm doing more damage than good by touching it at this point, so I'm gonna further refine its shape after it hardens. In the meantime, we'll jump back to Audrey 2's head by adding some leaves. To keep the head as light as possible, we'll again be using foam, but this time it'll be green sheet foam that I'll cut into a leaf shape. Hammer flat to make it more pliable, carve some veins into with a dull shaping tool, notch the edge with a sharp knife. Repeat that process 4 times, then spend the next hour trying to figure out how to mount the leaves onto the head. The problem was that I was trying to attach all 5 leaves from a single point, making that area way too thick. And I also couldn't figure out how to keep the leaves in the position that I wanted them. Then I thought about how fake plants are made. They embed wire into the stems so they can be easily arranged. And that's exactly what I did. And the results were amazing. Guys, this box just got delivered and I'm pretty sure I know what it is. Yeah, this is the SpongeBob toy lot I purchased on eBay. It includes a really buff Plankton, and I think he's holding the secret recipe. Mr. Krabs, Sandy Squirrel, SpongeBob, in his night costume, he's ready for Halloween. Gary, Patrick Star, Squidward looking extra grumpy, Plankton, SpongeBob with glasses and pajama SpongeBob, Mermaid Man, this hamburger patty vehicle that features a deep fryer engine and a catapult. Yeah! And last, the Flying Dutchman. He doesn't have his sword, but this lot costs the same as the Flying Dutchman with his sword alone. And I really just need his head, so I'm pretty happy with this purchase. And even though it's too late to make him for Halloween 4.0, I will be making him in the future. And besides, I couldn't be happier with the way Audrey 2 is turning out. And the only fabrication left is the weapon, which will be vines made out of armature wire that extend up and out of the soil in the coffee pot. Once I got the main striking vine finished, I made 6 more to place around the pot, and now we can paint. And as much as I'd love to be able to airbrush the primer on, I'm 100% sure that taking out my expensive Iwata airbrush and Iwata compressor would be a complete waste of time. So until I have a moment to sit down and watch a YouTube video on how to airbrush like a pro, I'm just gonna have to rely on these paintbrushes. And I'm determined to give Audrey 2 a professional paint job without using an airbrush. For the base coat, I'm gonna mix up and apply a light green color, and while that's drying, I'll paint the soil brown and the coffee can light steel. Next, I'll stipple olive green all over Audrey 2's base coat, then paint on the blue coffee can label. I'll mix up a dark green for the leaf veins. And now, with my finest paintbrush and steadiest hand, I'll paint on the coffee brand logo. Finally, pink for Audrey's lips. Now that Audrey's mouth is completely painted, I'll add some white foam teeth and a red foam tongue. That leaves us with just the metal vines left to paint, and for that, I'll be using this green spray paint that's been hiding in the back of my spray paint collection for years. I was about to call it finished at this point, but luckily, Eddie told me to paint the vines just like Audrey 2. So here I am, stippling on olive green. And after I glue them all in, I'll brush some tiny dark green vines onto the larger green vines. And with that, the only thing left to do is set up for the Halloween 4.0 tournament and introduce the combatants. The Halloween tournament that will be premiering on Halloween Day will feature Sam from the 2007 Trick or Treat movie, Freddy Fazbear from the Five Nights at Freddy's franchise, Nab Nab from the Garden of Ban video game, Monster Catnap from the Poppy Playtime 3 video game, The Plague Doctor from the 17th Century Epidemic, The Blob from the 1958 movie The Blob, Boxy Boo from the Project Playtime video game, and last but not least, Audrey 2 from the 1986 musical Little Shop of Horrors. Like, subscribe, comment your pick to win, and we'll see you on Halloween. If you like this video, don't forget to check out the Eddie's World YouTube channel where we have hundreds of videos just like this. And don't forget to click subscribe so you can see other great videos every Saturday morning. And hit that bell button so you can get notifications. Thanks for watching.